Happy Friday, folks. Happy Friday. Man, this has been a crazy week for content. I've been releasing like 2 videos a day, live streaming every day. We are just going oh so hard with the content. Let's go. It is the Friday night live stream, Friday evening live stream, whatever you want to call it. We got Tucker Carlson with the cigar in his mouth. We're ready. We are ready. We do have a full show. A lot of it is going to be the MAGA Civil War. That is going to be the majority of it. Thank you guys for being here on the Friday night, Friday evening stream. Shout out to all the members. Somebody said you're about to get 100K in 2026. You know, Natasha, people have been telling me that for a long time, and it has not happened. So, hey, I don't know. But people have been telling me that for years. People were telling me in 2023, oh, yeah, you're going to get 100K quickly. And people were like, how do you not have 100K subs yet? I don't know. That's actually my ultimate goal on YouTube. You know how everybody has a goal? You know, some people have a goal. They want 1 million subs. Some people's goal is 50,000 or 500,000. You know, my goal has always been 100K. That's always been my goal. Like, I'd be very happy with that because I have a sizable enough audience where I can actually, you know, hopefully really make some change out here. So, or at the very least, give my opinion, which I think is a truthful one, to a bigger audience. But I do appreciate the positive energy, Natasha. I do appreciate that. Very nice of you. By the way, I see why people bought their streams. I see why people bought their streams because when you have a small stream and there's not a whole lot of people in there, what happens is people will join it and then they'll immediately leave because they're like, oh, this guy has 4 viewers. Goodbye. But if you bought your streams and you got 2,000 people, well, then people are more likely to stay even if you're not doing anything. Like, I've seen big streamers literally not do anything. I've literally seen big live streamers. They will stream and they have this ginormous audience and they're not even working. They're not even doing it. They're just sitting there and just letting the video play for like 30 minutes. Like, it's almost like they're stealing somebody else's content. Like, they react like every hour. I've seen it. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I'm not even hating on those people. I'm just being honest. Like, that's crazy. But that just goes to show the power of having a huge following. Maybe one day we'll get there. Continue what you are doing. You will get there eventually. Yeah, that's the goal. You know, try to stay consistent. Keep doing what I'm doing. You know, we'll keep growing. You guys liking this Tucker Carlson with the cigar in his mouth? Smoking that Israel pack. That Bibi Netanyahu. Yep. Well, we do have a big show. It's coming. What did you guys think of my last video? Let's go to my last video. I've been making a lot of videos lately. Let's go to my YouTube. Let's go to my YouTube. What did y'all think of my latest video? That's not my latest video. My latest video was on Candace Owens. And I made a video on Erica Kirk. What did you guys think of that? Look at all these videos I put out. Man, I put out a lot of videos. Alex Jones, Ben Shapiro, Turning Point USA and Erica Kirk, Candace Owens. Man, I have put out a lot of content. Just Snooping says I'm playing catch up. We'll watch them after this live. It's all good. I appreciate that. Well, doesn't look like we're going to have much of a live because we don't have a whole lot of people in here today. It's just going to be me and you, Just Snooping. It's just going to be me and you one-on-one. I'm going to be talking to one person. Natasha says I will watch them after the live. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you. I've been on back garden duties. Oh, okay. That's nice. Just Snooping is a busy man. Can we get over 5 viewers? Where the people at? We had a good week of streaming. What happened? We got to the point where we had like 20 live viewers concurrently. What happened? Where's everybody at? Woman? What do you mean, woman? What you mean? What do you mean? By the way, did you guys like this little meme of Ben Shapiro with the little horse? That comes from Candace calling him the midget horse. She said, "You and your little midget horse," and I decided to put that in the video. I actually like this thumbnail a lot. I think this is a funny thumbnail, and I think that's why this video is doing well and people are clicking it. By the way, the channel has not grown much lately. The channel started growing a lot like at the beginning of the year and then it just slowed down. Every video, I've only been getting like 3 subscribers. Maybe it's because I talk about the same stuff. Maybe I should branch out. I actually did branch out recently and that video did well. Where's that video where I branched out? Where's that video? Here it is. I made a political video and it actually did well. I think I gained, how many subscribers did I gain from this video? I think I gained like 30 subscribers from this one. That was pretty good. Oh, Just Snooping said, LOL, you said I'm a busy man. Oh, you're saying you're a woman. Oh, my bad, Just Snooping. I'm so sorry, Just Snooping. And I didn't know that, by the way. So thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, you know what's shocking to me, guys? A lot of my audience is women. Why is that? I'm actually wondering why that is because it didn't used to be that way. Yeah, sorry about that, Just Snooping. Okay, hold on. Let me. Do you guys have any idea why my audience is women? You want to know what's funny? I actually had a sponsorship offer. Somebody emailed me and was like, "Hey, we'd love to do a sponsorship on your channel. How much do you charge?" And I was like, "I don't really know if I want to do sponsorships on the channel, but I'm like, you know what? Let's go through it though. Let's go through it. Let me see what you guys are all about. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll consider it." And when I did that, the product was I could see that the product was for men. Matter of fact, I'm going to go look at my YouTube studio right now because I want to see what percentage is women because at that time it was really high. But when I was talking to them about the sponsorship, oh, we gained new members. Hey, shout out to the new members. I'm in my YouTube studio and it says that looks like I gained 2 new members. That's nice. Shout out to all of the members. Okay, so I just want to see. I forgot how to get to it. I think you go to audience. Is it audience? I can't remember. Oh, yeah, it is audience. I think it's audience. It is audience. Yeah, majority of my audience is still female. That is actually really funny. So the story about the sponsorship is I was going back and forth with them. They were like, "Hey, we want to sponsor your channel. We want to pay you X amount." And I was just like, I mean, okay, that's a pretty good amount. Like, that's cool. But like, I'm not really big on sponsorships anymore. But I was like, all right, let me hear you out. And then they were like, all right, well, send us your audience demographics. And then I sent it to them. And they were like, "Oh, you have a mostly female audience. We need content creators with a male audience. We thought you had a mostly male audience. Never mind." I was like, "Damn." I was like, "Damn, that's crazy." And it kind of blew me away because I'm like, "Wow," because I've been on YouTube for 5 years and I used to make finance videos. And when I did that, my audience was like 90% men. And now I'm looking at my demographics right now, 55% female, 45% male. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. But I really do appreciate the fact that women follow me. I actually do like that. Don't get me wrong. I like that my audience is female. I do, for a lot of reasons. Um, I think it's good to have a more diverse audience. I like that it's 55-45 because I have a more diverse audience. And back when I had a finance channel, you just had these like dudes who were just weird and said crazy stuff. And I think that's the reason why a lot of my comments are positive. But don't get me wrong, guys. I know where a lot of the female audience came from. It came from me covering Brett Cooper. That's what I would assume. I would assume that it probably came from me covering Brett Cooper. But the fact that I have more women that watch me than anything is crazy. But hey, I'll take it. I mean, I think that's dope. I would have never expected it. But I think that's really cool. Let's look at the age. I'm looking at the age right now. By the way, The second largest country that watches my channel is from the United Kingdom. That's crazy. I did not expect that. Let's just look at my demographics. All right, so the biggest age group that watches me is 25 to 34 years old, and then 35 to 44 years old. Yeah, that sounds about right. Wow, 8% of my viewers are 18 to 24. That's actually really interesting. 5% of my viewers are 65 plus years old. 15%, 45 to 54. 8% is 55 to 64. And then in terms of countries, oh, what did I just do? I did not mean to do that. Crap. Let me get out of there. Looks like my biggest demographic by far is the United States. That makes sense. So the United States is 58%. And then after that, wow, the United Kingdom, 6% of my audience is from the United Kingdom. That's actually really cool. And the funny part is I've never even really been to the United Kingdom. For those who don't know, I went to the United Kingdom for a layover when me and my wife went to Spain and Italy. We went to the UK for just a layover. We were there for like a few hours. That's the only time that I've ever been there. We just went to the airport and we hopped on another plane. Maybe I should go visit. Oh, wow. This is actually crazy. Okay. My top 5 countries are the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, South Africa, Australia, and then Germany, Netherlands, India, France. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. I just think I have a very diverse little audience, huh? We're a little diverse up in here. My bad, guys. I'm out here ignoring the comments. Let me read the comments. You guys know we read the comments on this stream. Hold on. All right, there we go. It's easier when I read it here. Did you see the video of little Benny trying to bully Michael Knowles into disavowing Candace? Oh, Caitlin. Not only did I see that, we're going to react to that in today's live stream. Oh, I definitely saw it. You know, I see it all. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about it. Gil says, would you prefer a men audience more? No, because Gil, you've been following me back. Gil, you've been following me since back when I had a finance channel. You remember the times when I had a mostly male audience. Like my channel used to be 90% male before I started covering the Brett Cooper stuff. And yeah, no, I didn't really like that. I love the fact that my audience is a little bit mostly female, but it's really just diverse. I actually like that. I think the women audience is better because they're just not as mean. The men are just mean as hell. When I had a male audience, the comments I would get were insane. You're such a fucking idiot, bro. Kill yourself. Duh. Like when I had a mostly male audience, that's back when I would get like death threats. Like, all right, bro, chill out. Literally, people would message me death threats. I'm going to find you and I'm going to kill you. The funniest threat I ever got is this crazy dude was messaging me and he was like, I'm going to find you. He's like, I'm going to be seeing you soon in Chicago. I'm like, okay, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that'll go well for you, but okay. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to see you. I'm going to see you real soon. Keep in mind, this happened like years ago. Never saw the dude. He probably doesn't even live here. Just some weirdo. I don't take threats serious, by the way. And by the way, thankfully, the new content that I make now, I don't get any threats, which is crazy. It's actually crazy to think about. When I was a finance channel, I got threats. I don't get threats anymore. The only thing that I get is you're being paid. That's the only thing that I get. You're being paid or you're an idiot, whatever. Just Snooping says, I like your reporting. You come across as honest and fair. Thank you, Just Snooping. I'll try. Oh, the women are explaining why I have a female audience. Thank you. I need to know this. I would like to know this so I can keep it that way. Because you don't come at politics like a woman hating misogynist and you are intelligent and handsome. Oh, Natasha, that's a good point. You're right. You know, a lot of men have like this bias against women subconsciously, and they do kind of come off misogynist. I've noticed that too, and they don't even realize it. And a lot of them don't even care. So yeah, you are right about that. I could completely understand that. You're right. That is a really good point. Gil says, do you miss making finance videos? No, I don't actually. I look at it as a stepping stone to where I am now. You know what's funny about the finance videos? The finance community is so toxic. Oh my goodness. You wouldn't even expect it. It's just a bunch of finance bros with money who think they're smarter and better than you, and they nitpick and criticize every little thing you do. And oh man, I'm much happier making the content that I am now. I can actually say that the content I make now, I'm happy making because it's actually stuff that I'm invested in. Like back when I was making finance videos, I was watching Brett Cooper, I was watching Candace Owens, I was watching, Daily Wire and all that stuff. So now I get to make videos on stuff that I'm actually like really tuned into. So no, I would say I don't miss making finance videos. It was just one of those things where, when I first started my channel, I decided to do finance because that's what was blowing up at the time. So I was like, hey, why don't I make videos on it? And yeah, that's kind of what happened. And then I just got really bored and unhappy with it. So I pivoted the channel. I'm like, you know what? I'm just tired of doing this. I don't know if the channel's going to get views or grow, but I at least want to be happy with doing this. And so I pivoted and it worked. The channel grew. So it was cool. Shout out to the Rose Stories. We had a little dialogue the other day. I found you through the Brett Cooper train. Yeah, most people watching me now found me through the Brett Cooper thing. Isn't your wife jealous? What will my wife be jealous about? No, my wife's not jealous. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what will my wife be jealous about? My uncle. Shout out to my uncle. My bad, everyone. I made my nephew late for this live stream. He did make me late. He did. He called me right before I was supposed to go live, but shout out to him. That's funny. That mostly women watch you. Oh, no, she don't care nothing about that. No, why would she care? No. It's not like the women that watch me are like, like as long as there's boundaries and respect, no, she don't care about that. Nah, it's all good. I have been twice to the UK. I love the UK. Hey, we got 11 people in here now. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. If we could maintain at least 10 or more live concurrent viewers, we can start the show. So nobody leave. Don't do it. Looking forward to the laughs. Israel is not on the list. No, Israel is not on the list. No. I don't really care that much about Israel, to be honest. I mean, I talk about it when it's necessary, but it's not, it's not like I wake up every day like Israel. I got it. Like, no. You know what? I wake up every day. I wake up every day and go, I hate Ben Shapiro. That's what I wake up. I wake up every day. Oh, you know who else I hate? Every day that I wake up, there's three things that I think about. Let me think. What's the third thing? I just had it. Well, we'll just do two things. Every day there's two things that I think about that I absolutely hate. Okay. Ben Shapiro. I do think about it when I wake up. When I wake up, I'm like, how can I crap on him today? I do think about that. And then the other thing is Reagan Conrad with the comments section, because she took something very precious away from me. So every day I wake up, I think about her occasionally. And I'm like, I just want her to fail so bad because I just don't like her. I just can't wait to the day when she gets fired. When she gets fired, I'm going to do like a celebration live stream. We're going to order pizza. I'm going to drink. Like the day her show is over, I'm telling you, I'm going to be like, I'm going to title the video, Reagan Conrad leaves the Daily Wire live celebration. We're going to have like pepperoni pizza and drinks. And I'm going to wear like a party hat. I'll be like, woo! I'll be going crazy. No, I am legit. I can't, it gets to the point. I can't even decide who I hate more. I don't know if I hate Ben Shapiro more or Reagan Conrad. I really don't know, but I really, really hate them both. I can't stand either of them. And they're both with the Daily Wire. Yeah, for some reason, the finance community has a bunch of weird, stalking, toxic people. Gil, you hit the nail right on the head. You're right. I have people stalking me. You're right. You're right. Like if I gave a take on a stock and the stock went down, people stalk me. Or if I talked about like a finance guru or I made fun of them, people would stalk me. That was a very weird community. You know what I didn't like about finance content? I didn't like the community that it attracted. And I got to give Spencer Cornelia his credit. Spencer Cornelia warned me about it, and I didn't listen to him until I learned later on. But yeah, that's a toxic community. I mean, Gil, you know that firsthand because think of the guy who doesn't, think of the guy who makes the funny noises that I used to be associated with. Look at the community that he attracts. Like, do I want that community around me? No, I don't. He has like the weirdest people in his community. I wonder why men are like that. Because men are just freaking weirdos, man. Listen, you should see the amount of stuff that I've seen out here. You should see the stuff I've seen. Men are just weirdos. I don't know what it is about dudes. They're just weirdos. Not all, of course, because I'm not a weirdo, but some of them are, man. I thank God that I'm normal because the way I see dudes act, I'm like, ooh, wait. Who raised you? No, we only have 10 live concurrent viewers. Don't do it. Don't leave. If you leave, we'll have 9, and then I can't start the show. We have to have 10 or more to go get the show going. We have to. That's the new rule. 10 or more live concurrent viewers. Also, reading the comments. I always start the beginning of the show off reading the comments because it's like, it's my thank you for being here. And also, I'd like to hear from you guys. Well, it blends in with Israel. And they are like trying to track your every move. Yeah, no, Gil, I legit had stalkers. I really did. I had some weird people. I had people who went on my Instagram and were commenting under every post and were saying like the most awful things you could think of. I had this one guy who I blocked, and then he kept making burner accounts and bothering me. I'm just like, man, this community is so toxic. Yeah, I couldn't do it. LOL. Maybe I am the only one watching from Israel. You know what, Rose? I think you are the only person from Israel that watches my channel. Let me check my demographics and see if anybody from Israel watches me besides you. Let me see. Let me see. Nope, Israel is not on the list. Israel is nowhere near on the list. Even Pakistan is on the list. Who from Pakistan is watching me? Oh, wow. Okay, some of these countries are interesting. So there's a bunch of European countries, right? Like there's Norway, Switzerland, Spain. Oh man, can I just say I love Spain so much? Spain is one of my favorite countries that I've been to. I love Spain. Germany, Canada, United Kingdom. And then when I scroll all the way to the bottom, there are a few people from Pakistan, Thailand, and Ethiopia that watch my channel. Wow. That's actually kind of cool. Bunch of cyber stalkers and trust fund. Most of these guys that goes. Yeah, I agree, Gil. I agree. And you know what? The sad part is back when I used to make finance videos, you had a lot of people that for whatever reason kept trying to call me broke. And it was really annoying because it's just not true. And that's the other thing, because they're a bunch of trust fund kids and they probably have more money than you. They would always like talk down on you and call you broke. And it's like, I'm not broke. What are you talking about? Like, okay, sure, you have more money than me, but you had a leg up. I didn't. My parents didn't give me a trust fund or anything. Like I had to make it on my own. Like what are you talking about? Like I had to get student loans, graduate from college, work hard, get a good job, and I had to build everything myself. So Gil, you're right. I noticed that too. A lot of these people in the finance community are like trust fund kids. Like, daddy works on Wall Street and gave them $100,000 loan, and they took that and put it in the stocks, and then they grew it, and now they think they're geniuses. And yeah, tried starting from zero like me. I started from zero. Okay, when I was in college, guys, you wanna know where I worked at in college, guys? I worked at the gas station. That's right. When I was in college, I worked at the gas station while I was getting my degree. I would go to school, study, get my grades up, all that stuff, so I could graduate. And then after that, I would work a nice little, what was my shift? It was like 4 to 9, 4 to 10, something like that. It was like a 5-6 hour shift. I think it was 6 hours. I would go work at the gas station. These folks in the finance community, oh, they don't know nothing about that. I know. CM Discord is a bunch of trust fund and rich parents. Oh yeah, no doubt. Oh yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt. Their leader is one too, by the way. But shout out to him though. He's a good guy. I like him, but he's one of them too. But yeah, that's exactly what that Discord is. You know who is even more annoying than Ben Shapiro? Adam Sosnick on PDB. You should do videos on him. Rose, I'm so glad you brought that up. I hate Adam with a passion. I really do. And I actually hate all of those guys on PDB. I don't like his podcast at all. I think Patrick Bet-David's a grifter. I don't think he's genuine. I don't think he's authentic. I don't even think he's a real conservative. I think Patrick Bet-David over everything is a capitalist. I don't think Patrick Bet-David actually has any real political or moral principles. I think Patrick Bet-David has completely sold his soul to money. And I think Patrick Bet-David goes to the highest bidder. You know, that's what Patrick Bet-David is. Always remember this. Patrick Bet-David's political ideology is capitalism. That's it. It's capitalism and money. I really don't like Patrick Bet-David at all, or his little stupid podcast. He's one of the most non-genuine people out there. And it just really saddens me that it's always the non-genuine people that have the biggest followings. Like, how the hell did he get such a huge following? Like, can people not see that guy's a complete fraud? Like, can people really not see that? He's such a fraud. Oh my goodness, he's such a fraud. A lot of these guys didn't really come from poor families between me and you. Oh, trust me, I know. Trust me, I know. Rose, I hope Israel stays safe during the war. Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't want any casualties. I agree with you. Gil. I agree with you. However, Gil, their government is the one that's causing it. So we have to be fair. But I agree. I don't want any of the citizens in Israel to get hurt, but it is unfortunate that their government is the one doing it. So I would say to the citizens of Israel, y'all got to vote y'all government out. I don't know exactly how Israel works. I don't know what kind of like government structure y'all have, but y'all got to get them people out of there. Y'all probably can't, but y'all should. Oh, look at Natasha. Natasha's been following me since when I had a finance channel too. Yep, back in the day, I used to have a bunch of shirtless, sweaty dudes on your show yelling about stuff. Yeah, those were the good old days. You're right, I did. You're right. I don't know why they did that. And one of them tried to get me to take my shirt off. I'm like, no, you freak. Natasha's right. Back in the day when I used to do live streams on the main channel, when I was a finance channel, we used to have finance bros come on the channel and debate me, and they would all be shirtless. Like, dude, put your shirt on. Like, what are you doing? Bro, this isn't OnlyFans. Like, put your freaking shirt on, dude. Like, it's just weird. Yeah, there's some weird people. Yeah, Adam is a stupid person. He is just a stupid person. I hate him. He gives us Jews a bad name because he is such a stereotypical Jew. Yeah, I don't like Adam. Yeah, I don't like Adam. All right, let's see what Gil says. Whose community? I know not everyone in Israel treats dark-skinned colored people bad. A lot of Israelis are dark-skinned colored people too. At Echoes, his community accuses me of doing the creepy stuff they be doing. I'm not even in the Discord, but they snitched themselves out. Oh, Gil, you know what's funny? They don't like me either. I'm still in this Discord, but yeah, they don't like me at all. I don't even talk in that Discord anymore. Yeah, he has one of the most toxic Discords I've ever seen. His Discord is horrible. He has some really bad people in there. He has a lot of racist people in his Discord too. I actually got one of them banned because I raised hell about it. I raised hell about it in the Discord, and I got that dude banned because that dude was just so overtly racist. Like, he kept calling me monkey and just all these racial names. I'm like, dude, why are you calling me that? Like, what's wrong with you? Well, what's wrong with people? It's crazy. Yeah, Echoes, we came from separated parents and zero. I know the struggle. Yep, that's true. That's what I came from. My parents divorced when I was in first grade. Yep. My parents divorced when I was in first grade, and that changed everything. Shout out to my dad, though. He's definitely a good guy, but yeah. Yeah. And we came from terrible areas. Statistics not in our favor. Well, you know what? I'll say this. The statistics were in my favor because even though I did live in a bad neighborhood when I was younger, I lived in a really bad neighborhood when I was younger. I've always come from a good family. And my parents are smart. They kept us in the church when I was younger. We lived and breathed the church. So it's kind of hard to go out and get in trouble when you always got church events to go to. And that was how we grew up. We always had church events. It was always church. It was always Bible study or kids' church or youth, whatever. It was always something. And I actually think that's a pretty good way to keep your kids out of trouble, especially if you live in a bad neighborhood, keeping them in the church and keeping them busy and keeping them away from that foolishness. So I'd say that the statistics for me probably showed that I would turn out okay just because I do come from a really good family. So shout out to them. PDB has been scamming people since the 90s. SM community. Yeah, that community is interesting. It's definitely interesting. Shout out to that guy though. He's, he cool. He just You know, he's cool, but his community is very interesting, and so is he. All right, you guys kept your end of the bargain. You kept the stream over 10 people. You guys did good. I'm gonna start putting in rules. That's right. I gotta put in rules. I'm too nice. I need to start being more mean. I'm putting in rules. If we could keep the stream above 10 plus concurrent viewers, then we're good. If it goes under, then I don't know. I gotta play like a really horrible song. I gotta torture. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play Ben Shapiro talking until the stream gets back up. That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna play Ben Shapiro talking for an hour. I'm gonna speed it up until the stream gets back to 10 concurrent viewers. You know, we gotta do something here. All right, let's get to the show. Right now we have 10 viewers, so we're doing good. So let's get to the show. Let's get to the show. Keep it at 10 viewers, or we're gonna play Ben Shapiro. Matter of fact, I'm gonna queue it up just in case, because I feel like somebody's gonna troll and leave. And if you do that, there will be consequences. Let me queue it up. Ben Shapiro. I bet you there's a compilation of Ben Shapiro talking. Ben Shapiro compilation. That's the torture. You have to listen to Ben Shapiro. Yes, right here. Ben Shapiro.
As a woman and
you have to look at him make this ugly face right here. You have to look at that. That's the rule. All right, let's get to the show. There will be consequences. Serious consequences. All right, let's start off with Tucker Carlson and Piers Morgan. So Tucker Carlson and Piers Morgan decided to have a meetup, have a collab. So Tucker Carlson came on Piers Morgan's Uncensored show, right? And of course, they talked about Trump, they talked about Iran, they talked about all kinds of stuff. But you know, we have to play the Ben Shapiro portion first because we got to get an insight. We have to get an understanding of what Tucker Carlson said. I just know this is going to be good. So let me look at the timestamps. There it is. All right.
It's law right now.
All right, here we go. Let's hear what Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro had to say. I'm sorry, Tucker Carlson and Piers Morgan had to say about Ben Shapiro. Let's go.
Every bit the threat of anti-Semitic hate. How are they different? They're not. And no one will say that until someone does say that, you will not reunite this country. And if this continues, the country will fracture.
As we're talking, with glorious coincidence, Ben Shapiro has been releasing various clips on his social media platforms. One of them goes after me and Megyn Kelly.
By the way, I just want to say, guys, I'm shocked that they don't see. Can you show us Ben on a midget horse, please? I got you. I got you. I got you, just snooping, just for you. Just for you. I actually had a picture on my Twitter somewhere, but let me see. I got you. You guys ask any requests regarding Ben Shapiro, I got you, because I hate him just as much as you do. Oh, this is so funny. I think this is the best one. This might be the best one. We're going to do this one. Come on, internet. Okay, maybe we're not going to do that one. That wasn't the picture. I want to do that one with him screaming. That's so funny. Oh, there it is. Is that it? Okay, that'll have to do. It'll have to do. Oh, it's a video. All right. Ben Shapiro, midget horse, yelling. I need to have these pictures queued up. Yelling. Okay, I see Reddit. You know what the sad part is, if I went on Twitter, it'd probably be much easier to find this. There it is. Thank you. Jeez Louise. There you go. There's your photo. I need to save this. Hey, I'm definitely going to use this as the next thumbnail. This is going to be this is going to be every thumbnail for Ben Shapiro going forward. Hey, Candace saying the little Little Ben Shapiro and the midget horse is the funniest thing I've ever heard. I'm sorry, this isn't supposed to be this funny, but it is. Oh, all right. Let me get back to the show. Oh, goodness. Oh, all right. All right. So, let me talk about what I was going to say. So, I'm surprised that all the right wing people don't understand what's going on. So, Tucker Carlson and Piers Morgan right now is talking to him about how Ben Shapiro keeps going after everybody. Remember, guys, I exposed that the Daily Wire buys their views, right? The Daily Wire is a failing company. Okay, let's go over that, and let's enjoy this picture while we're at it. All right, let's just go over it. Let's look at all their channels. Okay, they really only have two people that are doing well. Let's look at Andrew Klavan. He's with the Daily Wire. Okay, look at his views. Like, I get more views than this guy. Like, this is terrible. 800,000 subscribers. 3,800 views. My latest video on the main channel is going to get more than that. That's crazy. And then the comments section. I know I'm way overdue for a video on that. Their views are terrible. The funny part is she has 600 views in 1 hour, and her channel has 3.64 million subscribers. Guys, I get 600 views in the first hour of my videos, and I only got 28,000 subscribers. This is horrible. So the bottom line is, the Daily Wire is a miserable, failing company. Ben Shapiro is kind of reigniting his career. He's giving himself a little bit of a bump by playing this game where he's going after all the big fish. And it's working. It is working. Because now he's riding this whole, I'm the fierce defender of Erica Kirk, and everybody who doesn't defend her is evil. And he's actually getting people to jump on that. And it's working. It's helping. It's helping his company. It's helping him, you know? So that's really what this is all about. This is the only way that Ben Shapiro can even stay relevant. Because if Ben Shapiro isn't talking about other people, nobody's really watching him anymore. He's fallen off. Ben Shapiro's competitors have destroyed him. Nobody's watching the Daily Wire really anymore. Besides Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh, they still have their fan bases. But think about it, guys. They're not growing. Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles have the fan base that has stuck with them for years, but they're not growing. Okay? Everybody's moved on. Everybody's watching Candace or Brett Cooper or The Quartering or whoever the new people are. There are all sorts of new right-wing channels that I've seen. There's a bunch of them. Everybody's pivoted to them. You know, Jesse on Fire, that's another one. He's got a big channel. People like that. Everybody's watching those guys now instead of Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro's, he's yesterday's paper. He's old news, you know? And so this is how he stays relevant. He's got to keep people talking about him. It works. You guys think I'm the only one making videos about Ben Shapiro? There's an entire ecosystem of YouTubers making videos about Ben Shapiro and this MAGA civil war that he has ignited. It's working for him. It's keeping his name alive. Ben Shapiro attacks Megyn Kelly. Ben Shapiro attacks Tucker Carlson. Candace Owens attacks Ben Shapiro. That's his plan. That's what I think. Let's go ahead and play it, though.
Me, because he blew his gasket about Dave Smith appearing on my show, launched into my show, said it was just Jerry Springer. As I like Jerry Springer, I knew him very well. I worked with him on America's Got Talent. He's actually a very smart guy. Used to be a news anchor, mayor of Cincinnati. Really interesting guy, much smarter than Ben Shapiro. So I took that as a compliment. But and I responded. He didn't like the response. He's come back. He's called me Jerry Springer again. He's called me a click whore. He says I'm a pussy bitch, and he goes on and on and on. I don't actually want to play the clip about me because he's trying to basically suggest that if
I can't wait to hear what Tucker has to say,
that he hasn't approved as a person that can speak about Israel. In other words, someone who's a propagandist for Israel who will not criticize Israel, then you yourself are promoting anti-Semitism. Therefore, you're an anti-Semite. Therefore, you're basically borderline Nazi. But I do want to play what he said about you, because he's been railing the same stuff against you, which I don't think anyone who has watched this interview so far will have concluded, oh, yeah, Tucker sounds like a raging anti-Semite. He sounds like a Nazi. You couldn't sound less like either of those things. And yet he's just posted this. Let's take a look.
I started originally criticizing Tucker
Here comes the
Carlson
torture.
for his economic programs back in 2018. And then in the more modern post-Fox iteration of Tucker, I started criticizing Tucker over his going to Russia to sniff the bread and kiss Vladimir Putin's ass. My generalized critique of Tucker in the last few months.
All right, guys, I'm not joking. There's only so much of this I can take. This really is torture. This really is. By the way, if this string gets under 10 concurrent viewers, we're playing Ben Shapiro sped up. That's the real torture. But yeah, no, seriously, I can't take it. I've had enough Ben Shapiro vids today with the videos I made on the main channel, so no thank you.
That is all about Tucker's general view of the world and how it does not represent traditional conservatism in any way.
All right, that's enough.
Tucker Carlson has fostered anti-Semitism
Piers,
by having on some of the worst anti-Semites in America over and over and over, and then essentially laundering their views.
Oh, thank goodness.
So it's the same attack line, essentially, about the anti-Semitism, which is if you or I or Megyn Kelly, whoever it may be, dares to platform anybody who is critical of Israel, let's be clear. I mean, in my case, I've always made it crystal clear, as you have in this interview, I have absolutely no problem with Israel, the state of Israel, with Israelis, with Jewish people, many Jewish friends. It's nothing to do with that. I reserve the right as a journalist to criticize any government, and I particularly reserve the right to criticize the Israeli government, given what it's been doing in the last few years, as any decent journalist should, not least because in Gaza, for example, the Israeli government continues to ban international journalists from operating there or even going on into Gaza to verify what they've been up to. That alone should be a warning sign to everybody that the Israeli government has probably been doing things in Gaza it doesn't want people to know. So, but I took the same view. You know, I oppose the Iraq War. We've talked about this before, but I led the media campaign.
I'm not going to lie, guys. We got to have some fun because every time I think of Piers Morgan, I think of this moment. I don't know if you guys have seen this moment, but let me show you guys something because this is actually funny. Every time Piers Morgan comes on with that British accent, it makes me think of Alex Jones. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you're about to find out. This is so funny. All right. This is what Alex Jones did to Piers Morgan while they were in the middle of debating. It's so funny. Here we go.
Do you believe was behind 9/11?
Oh, I absolutely know. I have the police on CNN saying, get back, they're going to blow up 7. I have BBC reporting.
Who do you believe is behind it?
I have the proof. I heard them on CBS Radio.
Who, Alex?
They announced they blew up the towers on CBS Radio. New Yorkers all saw it and heard it.
Alex, who do you
They
believe?
blew up Building 7.
Alex, who do you believe was behind it? The American government?
Criminal elements of the military-industrial complex, the same ones that staged Gulf of Tonkin, the same ones that staged Operation.
Does anybody know what's about to happen? Every time I listen to Piers Morgan and I hear his accent, I always think of this video because it's so funny. Does anybody know what's about to happen? It's about to be hilarious. Alex Jones trolled the heck out of this dude.
The mass shootings of Operation Gladio.
Right.
Ooh, the CIA don't like this
Alex,
now.
Do you mean that President Bush and his administration were behind 9/11?
I mean that even mainstream news reported that the hijackers were ordered to be allowed into the United States. Michael Springman, the head of the visa department, blew the whistle on that.
So the Bush administration was part of a conspiracy.
Well, he said never let us tolerate
to murder.
I can speak in this accent as well.
Yeah.
The
But is that what you
government,
believe?
Hitler firebombed his own Reichstag, Piers, to bring in martial law in Germany, April 27th, 1933. Governments have staged terror attacks throughout history or allowed terrorists to attack as a pretext to invade and enslave the populations. I probably own more than 50 firearms. Many of them have increased in value 2, 3, or even 4 times. I sleep very comfortably outside Austin, Texas, knowing that I can defend my family.
Okay, Alex Jones.
Infowars.com.
Wait, it gets better because after he does the English accent, he starts going ballistic. And they cut the show, and he's just screaming at Piers Morgan. This dude is hilarious.
It's a man who wants to deport me from the country for wanting to get rid of
It's to point out you're a foreigner, a red coat, here telling us what to do.
Whatever.
Go back to where they took the guns if you don't like it. The communists.
He called him a red coat. This is one of the funniest moments in history.
Springman.
You mean
I gotta play this
President
again.
Bush and his administration
This is one of the funniest
were behind
moments
9/11?
on television.
I mean that even mainstream news jackers were ordered to be whistle on that.
So the Bush administration was part of a conspiracy.
Well, he said never let us tolerate
to murder Americans.
I can speak in this accent as well.
Yeah.
The
But is that what you
government,
believe?
Hitler firebombed his own Reichstag, Piers, to bring in martial law in Germany, April 27th, 1933. Governments have staged terror attacks throughout history or allowed terrorists to attack as a pretext to invade and enslave the populations. I probably own more than 50 firearms. Many of them have increased in value 2, 3, or even 4 times. I sleep very comfortably outside Austin, Texas, knowing that I can defend my family.
Okay, Alex Jones. This is
Infowars.com.
This is the man who wants to deport me from the country for wanting to get rid of
it's to point out you're a foreigner, a redcoat, here telling us what to do.
Whatever.
Go back to where they took the guns if you don't like it. The communists.
Man, Alex Jones has got to be like the world's greatest troll. You could literally go and just find clips of Alex Jones just trolling people, like showing up. I mean, we could go through the whole lore. What's that congressman that he like? Oh, it was Marco Rubio. It was Marco Rubio. All right, guys, I'm sorry. We have to go down this rabbit hole because it's so funny. Alex Jones started trolling Marco Rubio. All right, this is the last one, then we'll go back to the video. But let's just do this because it's so funny.
Google, does Facebook, does
That's why you didn't get elected.
Do they need to be regulated like do they need to be regulated?
Marco Rubio and the snake. There goes Rubio.
Do you believe that these platforms need to be regulated like a public utility, and how do you go about doing that?
Well, I prefer not to. I prefer competition to take care of that. But obviously, we're going to watch closely to make sure that these tools that are being used. I mean, one thing is to say we're going to go after foreign interference designed to so and so.
But it's already going on here.
Another thing is to
The
say
Democrats
we're
are
going to
raping
go
the
after free
Republicans.
speech. Because at some point, someone has to make a determination. What's the difference between, misinformation from abroad and differences of opinion within the United States?
And that's happening
here.
here.
It's a very fine line, and that's something we need to be careful about. We don't overreach in that direction.
But then he doesn't know about
So these
Infowars being
companies
banned. He doesn't know about the
have to be
top
very
news story in the
careful
country.
about how they, not just how they apply that within the United States,
Infowars.com,
but they don't become
better than
agents
ever.
of authoritarian regimes abroad to crack down on free speech. Because
I wonder why Rubio got so mad at me and
there's
threatened me
there's
physically.
a balance between what is free speach and what people disagree on.
Poor Rubio.
I'm sorry, we gotta go.
Yeah, man, I got to go to the committee.
Exactly.
You guys can talk to this clown.
Oh, yeah. Look at this little frat boy. So cool. Go back to your bathhouse. Compromise bathhouses.
Man, this guy was the king of trolling, the absolute king. All right, can we finally hear what Tucker has to say about Ben? You did a lot of talking, Piers. I think we want to hear Tucker now.
The UK against the Iraq war, even though my own brother ended up fighting in it. But I opposed it, and I think was vindicated by what happened afterwards, sadly. But I opposed it and took on Tony Blair, who was the then British Prime Minister, even though my newspaper was the Labour sympathetic newspaper, the Daily Mirror, to the Labour government. But I did it because I thought it was the right thing to do. It didn't mean that I hated British people or my country. In fact, quite the opposite. It meant that I wanted to help the British people and help my country from stumbling into a disaster. And I sense from you that your position about Iran is not driven by a hatred of Jews or Israelis or Israel. It is driven by a sense that you feel this is bad for America and Americans, and probably bad for Israelis and Jewish people as well.
Yeah, I mean, I care about the United States. Again, I was born here. My family's been here hundreds of years. I care about it. I don't expect I'll be able to save it, but I want to do whatever I can to make it better and to avoid obvious disasters like this one. I don't want to attack Ben Shapiro, other than to say, like, that guy went to Harvard, and so did Bill Ackman. Like, at some point, you need to reassess. No, I'm serious, though. These are two of the most famous, richest people in our world. They both went to Harvard. I know them both. Not geniuses, like, not even close to geniuses. And so, like, our system itself is not producing wise people or even very knowledgeable people. Like, Ben Shapiro had no idea there was a strait at the end of the Persian Gulf and why it was important. You need a system that produces superior people. The British Empire did a pretty good job of this. The United States before the Second World War did a pretty good job of this. We need to reassess our system. That's the first thing I would say. Second, you're right. This is absurd. I think I've actually even argued with you about Israel. I was taking a tougher position than you. You've been a defender of Israel.
Yeah.
That's why this is so crazy.
Yeah, he has.
He wants to talk about this in order.
That's what's so funny about the anti-Semitism thing. That's what's funny, guys. Piers Morgan was on the Israel side. He was one of the biggest defenders of Israel. Do you guys remember this? Because I do. He was one of the biggest defenders of Israel. And now he's starting to flip. And he's being just a little bit critical of Israel. And now all hell breaks loose. Now he's an anti-Semite. Now he's the worst thing in the world. Blah, blah, blah. It's insane.
To get, this is projection. You're all about clicks. No, actually.
And you know what? Megyn Kelly is in the same boat too. Megyn Kelly and Piers Morgan were both major defenders of Israel. And they say one little thing, and now all of a sudden they're being put in the same boat as Nick Fuentes or Candace Owens. And it's like, no. Why can't we criticize? Like, we can criticize without being called anti-Semitic, or at least we should be. It's just a criticism. The criticism doesn't come from a place of hate. And I think that's what people don't understand. We're not criticizing because we just hate Jews. No, we don't hate Jews. Like, what? We don't. The criticism comes from we're frustrated. We're angry. We don't like what we're seeing. And what's radicalized me even more to speak up is this dumbass war we're engaged in Iran. By the way, speaking of that dumbass war, did you guys see that we are officially sending troops now? 2,500 Marines are now being sent over there in that area. That's the beginning right there. And then apparently they're sending like 2,500 people in the Navy to go support them, something like that. Like, it's getting crazy. Now things are escalating, and this is what we all were afraid of. Boots on the ground is what we don't want. Hey, April, good to see you. Thanks for being here. What's up, April?
Ben Shapiro was all about the money and about the clicks. But here's the part that I think that we should be concerned about. It is now a crime in a lot of the West to criticize Israel. People.
Yeah, April said it perfectly. And we're not going to spend too much time on this because last stream we spent way too much time. And it's, you know, April's right. I'm frustrated with their leader, not the people. Exactly. We're not frustrated with the people, the citizens. The citizens have nothing to do with anything, just like the Palestinians have nothing to do with Hamas. It's the same thing. You cannot group all Palestinian people as being Hamas and terrorists. You cannot group all Israeli people as doing the atrocities that the Israeli government does. Just like same thing with Americans. Same concept. I don't like what the American government's doing. You sure as hell can't loop me in with what the heck they got going on, because I don't even know what they got going on. Listen, most of us in America, we all are asking the same question. What the hell is going on? We wish we could fix it. We wish we could change it, but we are just one person. There's not much we could do. We can only do the best that we can. I can only do the best that I can. I can vote, my one vote. I can speak about on my platform and donate money here and there, and that's about it. Clearly, what I'm doing isn't working, though, because everything they're doing goes completely against the best interests of America and the American people in terms of their foreign policy. And it's bad. It's problematic.
Were arrested yesterday in Australia for criticizing Israel outside, publicly, not attacking Jews, not attacking physically anybody, saying, I'm against the state of Israel. They're arrested for it. They're in jail tonight. That's also true in the UK, as you know. It's true in Canada. It's true throughout Europe. And Ben Shapiro and people in the administration would like to make that the law here. This is the last holdout of free speech on planet Earth, the United States. It's encoded in our Constitution. Also, I would say in the American DNA. We have a right to say whatever we believe is true, period. And that very much includes criticism of a foreign country. You'll never hear me saying from the river to the sea, because I'm not exactly sure what that means. However, if I want to say from the river to the sea, I certainly will. And I'll do that until I die, because that's my birthright. That's a right given to me by God, not the US government. And Ben Shapiro and a lot of these people are saying it out loud. We need to penalize anti-Semites with the law. What does that even mean? You can never, in the United States, prosecute or even persecute someone for his beliefs, for your beliefs.
And also, what defines an anti-Semite? Because I've been called an anti-Semite. What? Like, what defines it? Because I think an anti-Semite is somebody who legit hates Jewish people for whatever reason. I think that's an anti-Semite. Like, you hate Jewish people, you want harm done to them. That's an anti-Semite. But me saying that Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal, that makes me an anti-Semite? Really? Me saying that AIPAC has way too much control over American politics, that makes me an anti-Semite? Really? That's the problem with this. That's what's scary about it. This is why I'm really big on free speech, because I told you guys, when it comes to the framing of these words, if you take away free speech, and we go by the framing of anti-Semitism, which is basically any criticism of Israel, that's really bad. That means it's over with for all of us. That means you essentially can't say anything. Otherwise, you could get punished by the law for speaking truth. And that's really what this comes down to. An attack on free speech is, in my opinion, it coincides with an attack on the truth. Because people all throughout history have been punished for speaking the truth. And the one thing that somewhat protects it is the fact that we have the First Amendment and we have free speech. You take that away, there goes the truth. It's going to be propaganda city up in here. You take that away. And that's the problem. That's why I said that in this country, if you're an American or really anywhere, you have to protect free speech, even if it's speech that you don't agree with. I told you guys, there are people whose speech I vehemently disagree with, but you have to let them say it. Because guess what? There's speech of mine that people vehemently disagree with. And if you take that away, it can backfire on you. I keep telling people that. It can really backfire on you in ways that you don't even understand. And then next thing you know, you're in this crazy authoritarian society where you can't speak up on your own government, you can't criticize your own government, and they just get to do whatever the heck they want. And then that really widens the gap between the rich and powerful and the poor. Now the powerful really can get away with whatever they want because you don't even have the free speech to call them out. I've went on this rant before. There's so much corruption in the government. There is so much corruption in Congress. There is so much corruption in nonprofits. Every big organization, big company, big government, whatever that you could think of has some sort of corruption, some sort of scandal that's just waiting to happen. And the free speech is what allows us to uncover that. You don't got free speech, you can't uncover that. And then what do you got? Not good. We got to protect free speech.
You have the right of conscience in this country. The UK used to have it. Australia used to have it. New Zealand used to have it. Now they're going to jail for saying things that Ben Shapiro doesn't like. So we should be wary of this because it's all preparatory to legislative and regulatory changes that will ban free speech in the United States. They're saying it out loud. That's happening.
I also think that the really insidious part of it, and there were many insidious parts of it, one is to silence people and to threaten them and to get them cancelled and so on, which is very hypocritical coming from someone like Ben Shapiro, who pretends to be the great, king of free speech. But also, there are
care about your feelings.
Yeah, exactly. I ended my own monologue response to him by saying those exact words, which probably triggered his little pussy bitch outburst today, as he's called me. But I think the other thing that I find insidious, Tucker, is that there are genuine anti-Semitic people. There are people that hate Jews because they're Jewish. There are people that wish harm to Jews. There are people who still have Nazi sympathies, who think the Holocaust was a good thing. These people.
Yeah, but that goes for every race. People need to make sure they put that into perspective. You can't just say, well, there are people out there who hate Jews and just single that out. No, there are people out there who hate white people. There are people out there who hate Italians. There are people out there who hate Mexicans. There are people out there who hate Black people. There are people out there who hate Asian people. There are racist, bigoted people out there. They do exist. But we have to be very careful with where I think that Piers is going. We have to make sure that we fully explain this. It actually goes back to what I said before. And shout out to Rose. But me and Rose had a dialogue last stream. And we were talking about the Ethiopian Jews and how they get discriminated against in Israel. And my whole thing to that is, I know they're being discriminated against. You know why? Because I've traveled all around the world. And guess what? When I travel to countries, I don't just go travel to countries and sit on the beach. I go and travel around other countries and I learn about their history and I learn about their culture. And guess what I learned? It's the same thing when I went to Guatemala. Same thing when I went to Spain, wherever. Guess what? Every country has some sort of historical discrimination. Every country does. Just about every country does. I'm sure there's exceptions, but maybe Iceland doesn't. I don't know. But most countries do. And Guatemala there is a population there that gets discriminated against. And what's the other country I went to? Morocco. In Morocco, there's a group of people who get discriminated against. So it happens everywhere. It really does. But let's hear what Piers Morgan has to say.
People exist. And if you start branding everybody that's critical of this current very hardline Israeli government, with people like Smodrich and Ben-Gvir, who have extremely hardline views, if you criticize a government and you get branded anti-Semitic for criticizing the government for policies that many people think are wrong, then what you're doing, you're allowing the genuine anti-Semites, the genuine Nazi sympathizers, to just ride under the radar. Because, if you go on social media now, everyone's an anti-Semite, according to Ben Shapiro.
Exactly. That's
guys.
Exactly.
Once everyone becomes something, even though the vast majority are not that thing, then the ones who really are that thing get to operate much more freely, I think.
That may be true. That's not my first concern. My first concern is the innocent falsely accused. Always. It is better to let people get away with crimes than it is to punish a single innocent man. That has always been a bedrock assumption of American justice and of justice itself. You can't punish the innocent. Of course, Israel specializes in punishing the innocent, killing the families of people they don't like. So it's not a concept that people like Ben Shapiro understand or care about, but it's the basis of Western civilization. So you do not accuse or penalize innocent people, much less kill them, A. B, this is a universal principle. It is not specific to one ethnic group or one bloodline. The principle is you cannot attack or penalize people, punish them for the sins, real or perceived, of their ancestors, period. And in the United States right now, and this has been true for 60 years, the only group that is routinely denied jobs, promotions, federal grants, college admission to Harvard is Christian whites. It's embedded in the law in the United States. We call it affirmative action, DEI, diversity imperatives, whatever. That's the law in the United States. And so if we're going to tackle bias, and I think we should, through moral suasion, we need to attack it equally, evenly, as a universal principle, because if these protections apply only to your group, they're not valid. That's just tribalism. I don't care, actually. And then we're in a system where we only care about our own groups. No law or principle has meaning or validity unless it's universal, unless it applies to all human beings, all American citizens.
Yeah, Natasha, I don't agree with that either, but it wasn't that deep enough for me to get into it because, obviously, I know Tucker's views. Like I said, I don't agree with everything that some of these people say. I don't agree with everything Tucker says, but yeah, I'm with you, Natasha. I definitely don't agree with that, but it would take me a while to really explain that. And yeah, so we're not even going to get into it.
And so I would just remind Ben Shapiro of that. You need to push back. If you're pushing back against anti-Semitism, you need to push back against the only kind of hate and bias embedded in U.S. law. It's the U.S. law. And this administration has done not so much to change that. I don't understand why. I hope they will. But as long as we're doing this, let's just apply it to every human being, because human rights are a real thing. Those rights were endowed by God. I just want to, I know Ben Shapiro went to Harvard, but he should meditate on that for a minute.
Well, also, he should meditate on the fact that to a lot of outrage from people on the pro-Palestinian side, when I was very vociferous in my belief when the war on Hamas started, that Israel didn't just have a right to defend itself, it had a fundamental duty to defend itself after what was an appalling terrorist attack.
Yeah, but I hate that talking point so much. Oh my goodness. I'm so sick of that talking point. Israel has a right to defend itself. Israel has a right to defend itself. We never said that they didn't. What are y'all talking about? Nobody said that. Not one person said that Israel doesn't have a right to defend itself. Of course, everybody has a right to defend themselves. But guess what? Because here's how it gets flipped. If Israel has a right to defend itself, don't the Palestinians have a right to defend themselves? Uh-oh. Don't the people of Iran have a right to defend themselves? Uh-oh. Don't Americans have a right to defend themselves? Like what is this? Well, it doesn't even make sense. They get attacked on October 7th, and they're just out here rolling around. We have the right to defend ourselves. What does that even mean? You guys aren't the first country to get attacked. And this is the stuff that pisses me off. You guys don't care about all the other terrorist attacks. You know how many terrorist attacks happen around the world all the time? All the time? There are terrorist attacks in Africa, European countries, other Middle Eastern countries. There are terrorist attacks everywhere. But you guys they just think they're so special. They get their terrorist attack, which of course it was bad, but they get their terrorist attack and they're like, oh my goodness, the world's over. We have a right to defend themselves. Everybody rally behind us. No, you rally around yourselves. It's your country. It's your conflict. You rally around yourselves because you guys don't give a fuck when any other countries get their attacks. Israel don't give a crap about none of them. They don't care. They don't care when other countries have terrorist attacks. They don't care when 200 African girls get kidnapped by Boko Haram in Africa. They don't care. They don't even think about it. But we're supposed to feel bad for you. That's what pisses me off about these people. Y'all don't give a flying crap by anybody else but yourselves, but we're supposed to feel bad for you. Every country has a right to defend themselves for the most part. Like, come on, people.
With 1,200 people killed and nearly 7,000 wounded and 250 kidnapped, including a baby and Holocaust survivors and so on. Of course, they had to defend.
By the way, I think that was a lie, too. There was a lot of lies. I don't even trust the October 7th narrative because they just straight up lied. They straight up lied. They said babies got beheaded and all this crazy stuff. That was a complete lie. There was no proof of that. Absolute lie. Now I got to look up what Piers just said. We got to fact check.
Defend themselves
Hold
by
on.
taking such a strong position as I did for a long time. And you and I did argue about this as it went on. In my belief, when the war on Hamas started, that Israel didn't just have a right to defend itself, it had a fundamental duty to defend itself after what was an appalling terrorist attack with 1,200 people killed and nearly 7,000 wounded and 200.
All right, we're looking that up. We're looking that up. We are looking that up. We'll start off with Wikipedia. I just want to see. I don't see. I know that they lied about a lot of stuff. I know they did. I don't see anything about 7,000 people wounded. I don't see that at all. Maybe it's true, but there were a lot of lies. There were a lot. It was crazy. That's the other thing that makes it hard. It's like you guys just straight up lied. Like you exaggerated what really happened. Talking about they beheaded babies and all this stuff. No, they didn't. You just lied. Like, why? Who lies about stuff like that? It's crazy.
50 kidnapped, including a baby and Holocaust survivors and so on. Of course, they had to defend themselves by taking such a strong position as I did for a long time. And you and I did argue about this as it went on.
Yes.
I took a lot of heat coming from the other side about that. And,
As
I
you
made
should.
a point to Shapiro this week. I've taken heat from both sides, and I'm fine with that. I actually think journalists should take heat from both sides of almost any issue, because it probably means you're doing the right thing. You're asking the right questions at the right time. But he was very keen to come on my show and enjoy the clicks that came from the interviews that we did when he perceived me to be somebody on his side. But what he didn't understand was I never saw it as taking a side. I just saw it as they had a right to defend themselves, as America did after 9/11, as Britain did, when we had the Battle of Britain and the Blitz. You have a right to defend your country, whoever you are, if you're under attack. But he mistook that for me taking a tribal position with him, that I was on his side. And the moment I began to...
All right, let's really break this down. Let's really break this stuff down, okay? Okay, some people might not like this, but I don't care. Let's really break this down. The reason why there was a lot of backlash to Israel has a right to defend itself is because everybody's like, dude, you guys have been brutalizing and abusing the Palestinians forever. There are documentaries, there are books, there are articles. There's so much research that backs that up. So you guys have abused and brutalized Palestinians literally for decades, for a very long time, because you all have the resources and the power and the backing of the most powerful country in the world, the United States. And you have done this for all these decades. And then all of a sudden, something happens to you because of things that you did. And I'm not condoning what Hamas did, but I'm just saying, you're not you guys aren't innocent in this. The Israeli government is not innocent in this. I'm sorry that civilians got hurt in Israel, but the government caused that. So this group called Hamas gets together, they attack, they do the horrible things they do, and all of a sudden it's this big old, you guys are trying to paint yourselves like you're like these, like Israel, the nation of Israel is trying to paint themselves like they're these big victims. Like, look what happened to us, this horrible terrorist attack. And yes, it was a horrible terrorist attack, but what about what you did? What about what you did? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about the genocide that has been happening for decades? What about that? So my thing is, we got to talk about both. We got to be fair here. If we're going to talk about October 7th, then we got to talk about October 6th and 5th and 4th and the stuff that y'all were doing. I mean, I could pull it up. We can go article for article. I can pull up all of the horrible things that the IDF has done to Palestinians. It is brutal. It is bad. So we just got to tell the full story here.
Deviate from that and began to get more critical of Israel. Certainly from the start of last year onwards, I became much more critical. He couldn't handle it. And then he didn't just refuse to come on the show. He refused to reply to my text. We'd always had a very cordial relationship. And then he started attacking me in public. And I was watching all this going, really? You're the free speech guy? You're the guy
He's a hypocrite.
that tells the world how important free speech is? You're the one that says repeatedly, facts don't care about your feelings?
He's a hypocrite.
And yet here you're letting your feelings override any changing facts on the ground in Gaza, for example. And I felt that was just so rankly hypocritical.
And also embarrassing. I mean, he's ruled by his emotions. So, which is lots of us are. I am sometimes, for sure. Try not to be. But here's a guy whose whole brand, carefully constructed brand with his carefully constructed deal with Facebook, is based on his like cool analysis, right? Facts don't care about your feelings. I'm a facts guy. And here he is allowing his one overriding love in life, which is for the Benjamin Netanyahu government, to determine who he's friends with. And by the way, you see a lot of this. I mean, I called Mark Levin right after Charlie Kirk was killed to say, geez, this is horrible. And like, let's stop fighting because we probably have a lot in common and, let's just not fight. When you see someone killed who you love, it's like, you want to fight less. So that's why I called him. And he was nice, by the way, he was. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. And then he starts getting this whole thing about, my mother told me there was going to be another Holocaust in the United States. And he goes, they're coming for the Jews. And, I don't want to make fun of other people's fears because, we all have fears that may or may not be reasonable, but it was so real to him. And I almost said, geez, Mark, of course, I'm totally opposed to hurting anybody, period. I'm a Christian, but I don't think we're on the cusp of that, like in Connecticut right now. But it was so real to him. Like his fear of that, like dominated everything. And it really, I guess what I would say is, I don't think Shapiro and Levin and Ackman and some of these people get the credit they deserve for sincerity. Like, I think that they really think we're on the verge of something horrible domestically. And the sad thing is that their neuroses and their inability to control their emotions divides Americans and scares the crap out of a lot of really decent people who I know who are Jewish. They're like, oh my gosh, we're on the verge of a pogrom. And you want to say, first of all, I don't think we are. Second, I'll do whatever I can to stop that because I hate that kind of thing. And let's, calm down.
All right. So that's mostly what they have to say about Ben Shapiro. It was interesting. Let's go to something else.
Cult and weird old.
All right, let me pause it there. So let's transition to what somebody commented earlier in the video, and I do have that saved right here. We're going to go over it. So Michael Knowles got into a little bit of a spirited little tussle with Ben Shapiro, little friendly fire, as the show's called, regarding Candace Owens, because as you guys know, Ben Shapiro is absolutely obsessed with Candace Owens. It's always funny because when I make those types of videos on the main channel, people are in my comments like, oh, you're an idiot, Echoes. Candace Owens is obsessed with Ben. What are you talking about? Candace got the way bigger following. Candace got the juice. Basically, everything she does goes viral. Everything. She made the Erica Kirk series. She didn't even put the thing out yet. She just put out the trailer, and everybody had a hissy fit. It went viral. Everything she does gets some sort of traction. Somebody's writing about it. And Ben Shapiro cannot stand that she's so much bigger than him and a lot more relevant. Ben Shapiro is the one that's obsessed with her. How do we know that? The only time Candace Owens brings them up is when they bring her up. She doesn't just randomly do live streams and just, oh, yeah, the Daily Wire. I mean, she may do it every once in a while, but lately, it's been them. I mean, Jeremy Boring, the former CEO of the Daily Wire, I told you guys, they got a secret deal in place. Like, when journalists reach out to Jeremy Boring, they're like, hey, we love to do an interview about you. He's like, great. I would love to talk about philosophy and psychology and the Pendragon cycle and astronomy and the key that I wear around my neck and theater. And then the journalist's like, no, we don't care about nothing about that. No. Are you willing to talk about Candace Owens? We need you to gossip about Candace Owens so we could get views. And Jeremy's like, oh, you don't want to know about my theater passion projects? And they're like, yeah, sure. We'll put it at the end when nobody cares. But at the beginning, can we spend the first 30 minutes on Candace? And at the end, we'll talk about all that other stuff. Deal? Okay, good. That's the deal they cut with him. Because every interview he does, the first 30 minutes is Candace Owens. That's how they hook you in. The trailer's Candace Owens. The first 30 minutes, Candace Owens. And then after that, everybody clicks off. And then that's when he starts talking about whatever the heck he got going on. You know, his little philosophies on life and stuff that nobody cares about. So, and then Ben Shapiro is obsessed too. I mean, he talks about her like every day. He goes after people who refuse to condemn her because he thinks he's the boss of everybody. And now he's going back and forth with people on his own network that work for him because they refuse to speak negatively about Candace Owens. Let's go ahead and play that. Here we go.
Alternative history, and that it basically is just an attention grab for everybody to grab audience, diverging away from the political objective, which is to bring voters together in a coalition.
Well, okay, so here is the problem. Okay, let's be very clear about the problem that has now emerged on the right. There are multiple wings that are sort of arguing for the future of the right. One of those wings is led by people like Tucker and Candace. Okay, that is a reality. And pretending that is not a reality doesn't make it not.
Really
well, I mean, I don't believe that you don't even buy it.
I don't buy it.
I mean,
first of all, the wings are led by J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio, if we're even going to call them wings. I don't think it's the podcast.
We got to get an ejector seat on this guy.
I mean, well, first of all, that's fine. But then it does beg the question as to why the vice president of the United States keeps ushering Tucker Carlson into the White House in quite visible fashion while Tucker Carlson is doing many of the things that he is doing.
The vice president has plenty of friends. Tucker, the idea that Tucker is his only friend, I think, is dishonest.
Has a lot of friends.
And this defense is not. This defense is not going to work for 1 second of one day. It is not going to. When Barack Obama was running for high office, everybody on the right correctly pointed out that his pastor was Jeremiah Wright. Okay, this notion that people's associations, close personal associations, people who help make them vice president, that has no impact.
For those who don't know who Jeremiah Wright is, of course I would know because I'm from Chicago. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but where I live in Chicago, Barack Obama's house is actually 2 blocks from my house. Did you guys know that? Like, I could literally walk outside. I mean, it's dark right now, but tomorrow when it's light, I could literally walk outside and film and show you guys his house. He lives right next to me. I live in the same neighborhood that Obama used to live in, and he still has a house there whenever he's in town. But anyway, I know a little bit of this history. So if you notice, Ben Shapiro mentioned this guy named Jeremiah Wright. And for those who don't know, Jeremiah Wright is this very radical pastor from Chicago. I think he retired now, but he was a very, very radical pastor. And he had some very controversial views. And because he had those controversial views, when Barack Obama was running for president, it kind of came back to haunt him. Opposition researchers dug up the fact that Barack Obama had close ties to Jeremiah Wright and another guy by the name of Louis Farrakhan, who's also located in Chicago. By the way, his house is not far from where I live either. By the way, I'm going to give you guys some interesting history. So Jeremiah Wright is a pastor. Louis Farrakhan is like a black Muslim. He's like a very popular religious leader in Chicago. They all live in the same neighborhood because here in Hyde Park, which is the neighborhood that I live in Chicago, there are actually a lot of there's some rich people that live around here. Like there's some really nice houses. If you go a few blocks going north, you'll get into a neighborhood called Kenwood, and that's where Louis Farrakhan lives, Barack Obama, Muhammad Ali actually used to live in that neighborhood too, the very well-known boxer. So I'm just giving you guys a little bit of that history, and it all ties in, and it's interesting because I live here where they all live at, so it's interesting, right? But yeah, Jeremiah Wright was like this very controversial pastor. Oh, shout out to my uncle. My uncle is lived here longer than me, so my uncle's given a little bit of insight. Jeremiah Wright retired many years ago. He suffered a stroke and can no longer speak. Oh, that's very sad. I did not know that. I did not know that. Thanks for sharing that, Uncle. Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay. So yeah, Jeremiah Wright did retire, which I figured. But anyway, he was very controversial, just like Louis Farrakhan's very controversial. And that did hurt his campaign at one point. Obviously, Obama persevered and got through it. But that was a big controversy that Obama had a close relationship with Jeremiah Wright. So just give you guys that insight on who that guy is. If you're from Chicago, you know who these people are. But if you're not, you might not know. So that's what Ben Shapiro's talking about when he brings up Jeremiah Wright. Let's keep going.
Impact on how people see them is obviously untrue. And when we talk about, the sort of growth of particular ideas on the right, pretending that, for example, young Republicans, young conservatives are not.
Just to answer your question, April, you said, have I ever seen him? You know what's funny? I have never seen him. However, I saw a video on YouTube, and right around the time when I went on my lunch break, he was at the barber shop that I walked right past and I didn't even know it. So there's like a bunch of barbershops right by my house in Hyde Park. And there was a barbershop, I guess, that Obama used to go to when he lived here. And Obama happened to be in town, and the barbershop was right there. And he was actually in there getting a haircut, and I had no idea because I went a completely other way to go get, my lunch. But I feel like had I went the other way past the barbershop, I might have seen him, which would have been pretty cool. But yeah, that's really all I got. That's really the only time that I've ever been close to the vicinity of him. Besides that, I really haven't seen him. He really isn't here that often because he lives in I think he lives in Maryland or something. I forgot, but he lives somewhere on the East Coast now. But whenever he's in Chicago, he does stay in that same house that's a few blocks away whenever he's here. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, this history is cool, isn't it? It is kind of cool how living in Chicago, you are kind of tied to that history, especially living in this neighborhood that I live in.
Not being infected with some pretty bad ideas by the people online is ignoring both the poll data and ignoring the actual viewing data of a lot of these folks.
No, I agree about the young activists.
Right. And well, that makes a pretty big difference. And so,
sorry, I was too much talking. I lost a little bit of what they were saying. Let me go back just so I understand. Let me go back a little bit.
Associations, close personal associations, people who help make them vice president, that has no impact on how people see them is obviously untrue. And when we talk about, the sort of growth of particular ideas on the right, pretending that, for example, young Republicans, young conservatives are not being infected with some pretty bad ideas by the people online is ignoring both the poll data and ignoring the actual viewing data of a lot of these folks.
No, I agree about the young activists.
Right. And well, that makes a pretty big difference. And so the question becomes not just quote unquote, what is obviously, listen, I think that there is a purpose to calling out evil where it occurs, because calling out evil where it occurs is a good thing to do on a moral level. And so if Candace Owens decides to slander the widow of Charlie Kirk, I think that.
But isn't what Israel is doing to the Palestinians, isn't that evil? Why doesn't Ben Shapiro call that out? Did you guys know that a bunch of IDF soldiers aped, you know what I'm trying to say? They aped a Palestinian person? And guess what happened? It just got announced that they dropped the charges. They all got off. Is that not evil? Is what the Israeli government not evil? Why doesn't Ben Shapiro say anything about that? So Candace is evil for going after a very weird widow with this very strange history, who has made some very strange moves and is now leading the organization that has attacked Charlie Kirk's favorite congressman, that has done all sorts of things, that has supported the war in Iran, which, oh, by the way, your dead leader was against. But that's evil. It's evil to criticize that person, but it's not evil what Israel's doing. Okay. All right. Got it. Got it.
People have a moral duty to say that this is a bad thing.
A moral
they are
duty.
quote unquote friends with those people, and I
But,
find it.
But let's take that further. So obviously, one should state one's view and say, you know, Erica's great, and the attacks on her are not right.
Well, Michael, I'll just ask you straight up: is Candace Owens doing something evil by attacking Erica Kirk?
I think that it's wrong to attack Erica Kirk.
No, say the sentence with her name in it.
I'm not going to dance like a puppet for the podcast.
You don't have to dance like a puppet, but you are dancing pretty quickly. I mean, there's a lot of tap dancing.
I don't think there's any tap dancing.
Even if you aren't interested in the podcast, where's the podcast?
And I think the people who are leading the invective against Candace are her biggest publicists, and I hope
leading the invective against Candace. I mean, this I take a little bit of umbrage at. I don't feel that it's invective to say that what she is doing to Erica Kirk is totally demonic.
No, that is invective. It could be justified invective, but it's certainly invective. My point is, when's the last
time you used the term invective to talk about justified invective? Give me a break.
No, of course. The three most famous speeches in Dante are the invectives, and they're totally justified. Invective can be a good thing. My point is just that what is the goal of that? Is the goal to make oneself feel really morally good, to puff oneself up to one's friends and fans, or is the goal to try to reduce the popularity of some show? Because if it's the latter, it's not working.
No. It's just about stating principles. That's what we're here for. That's our job.
One can easily do that without focusing all of this attention.
We actually cash checks because we state our principles, and it is a real question. I'm totally against calling people out and calling people names. I think it's a bad thing, but I'm not against calling out evil. I mean, Ben's right. This is the basic. It's the basic.
But no one disagrees
bottom
about
line.
That. No one disagrees.
But you don't do it. And
I've made my view on the Erica Kirk thing completely clear.
Yeah,
repeatedly.
but I mean, look, Tucker Carlson is sitting around saying that American soldiers, implying that American soldiers want to rape Iranian women, and that's what Donald Trump meant by
unconditional surrender.
Unconditional surrender. I mean, that's a disgusting thing to say. American soldiers have been the best behaved soldiers on earth in human history.
That's not true, by the way. That's actually not true. I can pull up the articles. American soldiers have done some horrible things to plenty of people. Has Andrew Klavan ever heard of a place called Guantanamo Bay? What was the CIA and American soldiers doing at Guantanamo Bay to those people? What were they doing? By the way, a lot of those people, or at least some of them at Guantanamo Bay, are innocent. That is a provable fact, by the way. Some of those people, there are definitely a lot of those people who were involved in 9/11 and deserve to be there. I get it. But not all of them. There are some people who do not deserve to be there. And what were they doing to them? There was actually a controversy about this a while ago. I think I was in high school. I remember there were pictures of U.S. soldiers with those people, and they were just doing the most inhumane things ever. And see, this is the propaganda. You got to be very careful, guys, with this propaganda, with these propaganda shows, okay? The American military, you've been lied to. They try to tell you, oh, the Americans just best at everything. We're so moral. Bro, we just killed 175 schoolgirls in Iran. We just did it. They were ages 7 to 12, and the Trump administration won't acknowledge it. So what the hell is Andrew Klavan talking about? The American soldiers are the greatest in the world. They're just so moral. No, the fuck they're not. We got evil, horrible-ass people here, just like they do in Israel, just like they do in other armies. Stop it. Freaking stop it. The stuff we've done to people, oh, please. Again, I don't have this stuff off the top of my head, but I read a lot, so I have a pretty decent grasp of the history. I can pull it up. Like, that is straight up propaganda. And I hate it when they do that. America has one of the most evil militaries, actually, and I can prove it with facts. With facts. America's military has some of the most evil people ever. There was a story that I was watching with the CIA agent named John Kiriakou. He told a story about how there was a professor at a Canadian university. Matter of fact, let me find that damn clip. Now I done got riled up. I'm going to find the damn clip. Hold on. Let me find that clip because this is really important. He tells the story better than me. That's why I'm going to pull it up. But I need you guys to understand that when you're being lied to, no, America's not the greatest of all. What? Let me go back to what this guy said. Hold on. We need to play this shit. It's getting ridiculous. Oh, goodness gracious. American soldiers have been the best behaved. Okay. What did John Kiriakou say? I got to remember that story. John Kiriakou, CIA. It was a Canadian professor. I'm going to find it. It was so sad what they did to that guy. Where's that? I'm going to find it. I promise you I'm going to find it. What was that dude's name? Okay, hold on. CIA. It's so important. Innocent Canadian professor. I think, you know what's funny? I actually think that guy sued and won too. Basically, he had nothing to do with Al Qaeda. They tortured him. And he literally didn't do anything. He had nothing to do with it. He was like a professor. That's as bad as it gets. Like, that's horrible. That's horrible. Oh, I hate it when I can't find stuff. Is that the case? That might be the case. All right. I might have found it. Let's see. If so, and I'm looking at you all's comments. Somebody said, love you, Echoes. Thanks so much, Rachel. By the way, shout out to all the women. Shout out to all the women. It's actually kind of funny. I really do have a majority of my followers really are women. That's dope. That is really dope. I'm seeing a lot of women in the stream. Shout out to all of you. Is this it? Let me see if this is it. My bad, guys. I'm going to find it. I have to find it now because when I saw this story, I was like, this is just awful. Like, this is so sad. I'm going to find it. Hold on. I have tools that let me find stuff on YouTube. Let me go to one of my secret websites that I use to find stuff. I'm going to find it. I am going to find it. Trust me. Trust me. Just give me, in the words of Steve Lookner, one moment. Give me one moment. If you guys know who that is. He'd be like, one moment. Give me one moment. We can't let Andrew Clavin get away with that foolishness. We cannot let it. We cannot allow it. Turn to Canada, he was held without charges for almost a year. The Syrian government later stated he was complete. Yep, this is it. That is the guy's name. Okay, I found the guy's name. So now I just need to find the YouTube video. All I have to do is find the YouTube video. And then we'll play it. You guys are going to want to hear this because I bet you most of you guys don't even know about this, that this even happened. So we got to play it. Jeez, even AI can't find it. I found something from 10 years ago, but it was a recent interview. That's what I want to find. It was a recent interview where he talked about it. CIA torture. All right, I guess we're going to have to play the interview from 10 years ago because it looks like this is it. So we might have to play that. He has a newer interview where he tells the story really well, but we might just have to. Yeah. Hey, let's go. Rachel Dawn 8289 just donated $5. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. That's the first super chat of the stream. Let's go. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Oh, my uncle said, I thought I saw a comment from my uncle that said he would help me. Yeah, sorry, guys. I just really want to find it. Looked like my uncle said he was going to help me find it, but whoever said they were going to help me find it, it's Maher Arar. That's the guy. He was a Syrian who was like a Canadian citizen, and he got unjustly tortured. Like, that's as evil as it gets. And it was because of his name. Like, that's insane. Don't say that the U.S. is, oh, we're so great, we do everything. No, the hell we don't. And I really want to show you guys, because this is like really important. The problem is I'm typing in his name and it was under a video with a different title. That's why I'm having trouble finding it. But it's on YouTube. Let's see. I wish YouTube showed like transcripts. That way I could see. Let me see something. Let me see if it's this. All right, I don't see it. Oh, okay. Okay, well, if my uncle says he's going to help me find it, then I'd appreciate it. Here, hold on. Let me share my screen so I can show you. Because, yeah, we need to find this. We need to find this. So it's Maher Arar, John Kiriakou. It's the guy's name, uncle, is Maher Arar. That's the guy that got tortured. And John Kiriakou, it was recent. It was like a few months ago that he talked about that guy. It was on an interview on one of these podcasts. Now, there's an interview of him on Democracy Now!, but that was 10 years ago. It's right here. The one, no, that's not the one. Yeah, this is the one right here. But the one that I'm talking about was like a few months ago that he talked about it. That's the one that I want to find. So if you can find that, uncle, I'd appreciate it. I'm going to try and find it too, because it might be a little hard to find. But anyway, let's go ahead and listen to, continue to listen to Andrew Klavan while I also try to find it. Hey, we got the super chats rolling in. Okay, so shout out to Rachel Don. Thank you so much for the $5. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate that you said keep going. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. I am going to keep going. It's not easy to do this. It has its ups and downs, but I am going to keep going. Thank you so much. Thank you, April, for the $2 super chat, super sticker. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. You guys are rolling in with the super chats. Thank you. Really appreciate it. All right. It's driving me crazy that I can't find this interview, but I've watched this interview, so I bet you if I look at my history, I'll find it. So let me play the rest of this while I find it in the background.
And I just think it's, when people say that stuff, something's wrong with them. Something is going wrong with these people. And it's not the same.
But why would we publicize it? I guess is my question.
We don't need to publicize it. As you said, they're tremendously popular. But the thing about it is, like, if you take someone like Candace, I believe Candace is popular with people who no longer matter. Anybody who's taking what she says seriously on any level is already lost to the light, as far as I'm concerned. Tucker's a little smarter, although he's
just a hater. That was the most hating thing I've ever heard. He's just mad that he's a hater because nobody watches this little lame channel. I showed you guys his channel. His last video has 3,800 views. We get that on my channel, and this guy has 800,000 subscribers. So he's just jealous. A lot of these guys at the Daily Wire are just jealous. That's what it is.
Starting to go, when you get infested by demons, after a while, you're crab walking across the ceiling, cursing at the priest. That's what happens.
Sorry, but I think I found it. I think it's this Julian Dories where he said it. Hold on. Hold on.
We found out about him through the Philippines. He was planning an operation. Sorry.
All right, that's not it. I'm going to find it, though. I'm getting closer.
That's the trajectory of that. But I mean, at some point, you stand for something and you don't stand for anything.
Right, well, but no one is. I think that's a false dichotomy, basically. I think we're saying, well, you need to state your principles. You need to state what you believe. Yeah, sure. We all agree on that. The only question that I have is, should the podcasters be spending all of their time talking about each other in these meta-political fights and promoting each other's clips, for goodness sake?
Okay, so first of all of their time is a wild exaggeration as far as I am concerned, because last I checked, what actually happened is that I made one speech at TPUSA and then said literally nothing for months about any of these people.
And they're attacking you. I'm not. It's not just you. I'm not even saying you're leading it. I'm really not.
The only point that I'm making here is that if these people do have a great level of popularity, which they do, and they are saying things that are bad, which they are, calling out the bad things that famous people are saying and doing is actually the thing that we do for a living. And we do it for politicians. Michael, you do it for commentators on the left. We play clips of these people all day long on our shows. When those people are, quote unquote, purportedly on our side, and some of them are in the ear of the vice president of the United States, then it sometimes becomes a little important to actually call that out. And that is the thing that I think is, now listen, you can do whatever you want. Obviously, it's a free country, and you're well within the Overton window in your opinions, as far as I am concerned, even if we disagree about your approach to these particular personalities. I mean, many of our hosts have appeared and continue to appear on the shows of the very people that we are talking about, and at no point have I or anybody at the Daily Wire said that they should not do that. So, you know, that is sort of beside the point as to what we're arguing here. The only point that I'm making is that if what the commentary business is about is speaking to the audience, meaning a large audience of people who are making up their minds as to who they ought to listen to and the kind of ideas they ought to consider good and bad, then yes, it is worthwhile to say it is not worth your time to listen to people who argue that, for example, the Khazarian Jews are responsible for, you know, the breakout of World War III, or that they're digging tunnels across America like rats, or that the Israelis worship Baal. If people like that have millions of viewers, and that viewership has crossover with the movement that I've grown up my entire life trying to build, and their numbers are going up, then I think that it's a good thing to say, hey, guys, you probably shouldn't watch this. And then it's
can I jump in here for a second? I just want to make something clear. Michael, I think that a lot of us feel like if you don't speak up and point these things out, you are effectively abandoning the field. You're basically treating it the way that a lot of Republicans used to treat an issue like abortion, where they just didn't want to talk about it. So what would happen? What would happen is the Democrat would entirely talk about it. They would define the terms. They would determine what the debate was about, and they would attempt to reframe the issue. We saw this happen time and again, by the way, in Virginia. And that's the kind of thing that leads to a false depiction of people who are trying to advocate for moral right as being extremists, when in reality they're just saying we want to stop killing babies.
Yes,
now,
but I think
but just to take that to the Candace Owens situation, for example, I just don't think you don't have to engage with every amount of crazy. But I do think that one of the things that's really been important and worthwhile is that I used to love Tucker. I have known Tucker. I met him when I was 15 years old at the Mayflower. It was always very nice to me. We've never had any kind of personal clash. But the simple fact is he lies to the people who pay him money for those lies repeatedly, and not just about things that are related to what we've been discussing, but about history, about Winston Churchill.
All right, so they're just crapping on Candace. All right, it's driving me crazy that I can't find it. It's really driving me crazy. I don't know why it's so hard to find, because I know he said it. I don't know why I can't find it. It's actually really annoying. Like, it should not be this hard, but I really cannot find it. I found the dude's name and I still can't find it. Wait, is this it? No, that's different. No. All right, let's try this. Canadian. Is this it? That's what came up.
Who was the original federal court for that information? It was so highly compartmentalized.
He got paid over $80 million for their work. That is pretty. So did you?
I would want it to be dark. I would want everybody to. That's what started happening that the CIA was doing around the world. And then the cables started coming back from the secrets.
It would probably take me a while to find it, but I would eventually find it. It would just take me a while because I don't remember what interview it was. This guy does so many freaking interviews. I think it was on Julian Dory's show. That's what I think. Let's see.
First of all, let's call you to an eye bolt. Do you waterboard him?
Oh, this might be this.
I'd
actually,
like to have you in here just as I would like to have Jim Mitchell.
This interview looks familiar. It might have been this one.
But Himenesheti said none of it can be used against them in trial. So bomb scenario.
I think it was this interview. I think okay. I think I'm getting warmer, guys. I think I'm getting warmer because this really is a crazy thing that happened. This is insane. You talk about the United States military and government being good. What they did to this guy was just beyond evil. I think it was on this guy's. Jeez, Louise, 4 million views. Wow. Wow, that's dope. Wow. Okay. I think it was this one. I really do. Okay, we're getting warmer. All right. I need to do something in order to find it. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to. You guys are gonna have to look at me. Sorry. I gotta do something to find it. Hold on. I think this is the interview. But I promise when I find it, you won't be disappointed. Because it's gonna blow your mind. You're gonna be like, I can't believe our government did that. Yeah, they did. You're gonna be like, holy cow. Well, it was Syria's government that did it, but the United States told them to do it. And Syria was like, okay, whatever you say, boss. It's basically what happened. So let me take this video and put it here, and I should be able to find it. We're almost there. We're almost there. Oh, I hate these I'm not a robot things. They're so annoying. Somebody say you're going to get there. Thank you. I'm really trying. It was such a crazy. I'm telling you, when I heard this story, I just couldn't believe it. I was like shocked. I'm like, wow. Because that's the thing, too. The United States does a lot of evil stuff, but the mainstream media doesn't report on it. So you'll never know because they don't want you to know. They want to keep up with the propaganda. They want you guys to think that they're just so great. That all the soldiers out there are just nice people. That's what they want you to think. And, you know, on here, we tell the truth. That's not true. United States military is not all that great either. It's really not. Sorry. It's not. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's see. All right, I think I've just about pinpointed it down. I think it's this. I really do. Let's see. This might be it. Uh-oh. My computer's crashing. Do I have too many? I must have too many tabs open. Now my computer's crashing. Oh, Lord. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm getting warmer. I don't know why my computer's freezing. Oh, goodness. Okay, hold on. Man, technology's so annoying. Just never works the way you want it. I think I have too many tabs open, so I'm closing a bunch of tabs. I just want to find this video so bad because I'm telling you, you guys are not going to be disappointed. You guys are going to be like, we did what? Where is it? I knew it was this interview. This interview's 4 hours, though, so now I have to sift through the interview to find it. All right. Let's see. If it's not in this interview, then I just truly give up. I'd have to find it and play a next stream, but I know it's in here. It's definitely in this interview. I just can't find it. I don't know why it's so damn hard to find. It really should not be this hard. But I've never had to look this hard for a video ever in my life. Like seriously, holy. All right, my computer keeps freezing. Never mind. That's the end of that. My computer keeps freezing. I can't even do anything. All right. Well, I really wanted to find it, but I can't. So, and it's hard to look for while streaming at the same time because I have to try and keep you guys entertained. And now my computer's freezing. Does my mic still work? Because my computer just completely froze. Hopefully my mic still works because my computer's not working at all. I think it's this website I'm using to sift through the transcripts. This website seems to be hurting my computer for some reason. So maybe I need to get out of here. I normally use this website on my phone to sift through the transcript. Well, you know what? You know what we're going to do? We're just going to watch this guy talk about the CIA torture and see if he talks about it because it's in that section. I just don't know where, but it's in there. Man, this computer is annoying. I have never had problems with this computer. And now nothing's working. Oh, of course. As soon as I close that website, it works perfectly. Okay, so that website was jacking on my computer. I don't know what was up with that website, but I guess we won't be going there again. Because as soon as I went there, it just starts jacking up. Is this it? Jordanian. Hold on. Where's the transcript? All right, I give up. We'll just have to do it some other time. I give up. I give up. I'm not going to ruin the whole stream because I'm trying to find it. So never mind. I give up. I tried. Sorry, I couldn't find it. Maybe next time. All right, let's get back to the video.
About the nature of reality in the world, and particularly foreign policy and our national security. And those are lies that I think have to be confronted on occasion when they rise to that. And if we're not going to confront them, who is? I just don't think you can let that stuff just sit out there.
Here. There's a flawed premise, which is that we, by not engaging in these podcaster wars, which become extraordinarily personal and go on forever, much longer than the Iraq or Afghanistan wars, by not doing that, we would not be talking about the issues, which is not true. That is completely false. Whether we're talking about, I don't know, we're talking about the Iran war or the assassination of Charlie or the Khazarian Baal worshipping, whatever, that Ben was just referencing. One can talk about all of these things. One does talk about all of these things without necessarily engaging in this very personal aspect, which to my mind, no one can give me an answer on what is being accomplished here. Because my premise is that a lot of the podcaster stuff is quite and increasingly divorced from the actual political realities. Just one point to finish this. Right. Look at Trump's approval numbers. Look at the administration's approval numbers. Look at how people feel about these interventions, Venezuela or Iran 1, even Iran 2, compared to the podcasters. 100% almost of the podcasters and the live streamers are opposed to all of these Trump admin things. The electorate is for it. And so it just seems to me there's this perverse incentive that did not exist in radio and TV. It does exist in the new media, which is to be more radical, to be more sensational, to be more personal, make it more about the host. And these incentives come up because everyone's kind of independent now, and they all make it about themselves. And it just seems to me this is not effective for a coalition. And the more attention that you give to the personalities, the more their ratings are going to grow. That wasn't true 10 years ago, but I think it's true in this situation.
I do not understand how a man who wrote an entire book claiming that there are some things that are actually off limits to say. You said that it's not that we don't want to cancel people, but the left is canceling the wrong people. don't we have a responsibility on our side to say, yeah, we
have no ability to do it, is my point.
What the hell do you say? We sure do. We're not canceling people, but we do have a right to build up the
None of these people's ratings have declined even slightly. They've only
care
increased.
Whether their ratings decline. It's who's listening to them. Look, anybody in this country can get 15 million people, especially if you're hating Jews, to follow you.
That's not true. That's not true. Michael knows is right. This guy's an idiot. Anybody could get 15 million. That's that hating. He's a hater. She's not really successful. Candace isn't really a big deal. Any idiot with a microphone can get 15 million views by hating on Jews. No, they can't. No, they cannot. It's not true.
Is that the secret? I've been trying to get 15 million people for 10 years. That's all I got to do.
Exactly, Michael.
You don't hate Jews enough. That's why.
I got to work on that.
I mean, it's not, popularity is not a sign of good or bad. It's just something. Right. Yeah. So it's not their popularity we're attacking. It's their ideas, and their ideas are attached to people. And Tucker is a charming guy, and he's a clever guy, and he knows how to do what he's doing. And we have to call him out, because the words that come out of his mouth are simply untrue. I mean, the facts that he sells are untrue. The morals that he sells are morally illiterate. The Bible, when he talks about the Bible, he's not quoting.
Oh, really? Were Tucker Carlson's facts untrue when he debated U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, and he absolutely exposed him? Were Tucker Carlson's facts not true when he debated Ted Cruz and he absolutely annihilated him? If Tucker Carlson's facts are so untrue, why does he still have access to the White House even though he criticizes Trump? Why does Trump still bring him there? Tucker has garnered a respect that I think is deserved, even though I don't agree with everything he says. I think he's kind of built up a reputation. And whether people agree with him or even like the guy, I think a lot of people respect him because of his accurate reporting and a lot of the truth telling that he has done. Last time I checked, ain't nobody calling for Andrew Klavan to debate them or come on their podcast. Nobody cares about him. It's all jealousy. That's what it all is. If you really listen deeper to what these guys are saying, it really circles back to they're jealous. They keep bringing up the fact that they have an influence, that they have a bigger following, that they're getting views. And you know what it all circles back to? Think about it. The Daily Wire is made up of a bunch of people who think they're smarter than everybody. It's all these bookworm, nerdy, dorky Ivy League dudes. So they just can't understand, why don't I have a big following? I'm an intellectual. I am smart. I'm very well versed in the English language. I am very good with literature. And they just can't understand why nobody's listening to them. Because you're freaking boring and you don't actually have a real rock to stand on or real principles. You're just a freaking grifter and people can see right through it. These people that they're talking about are bold. They're boldly telling the truth and they're not afraid. And people like that. That's why they're getting a following. But what's his rebuttal to it? Oh, they're just idiots. All of Candace Owens fans are dumb. They're dumb idiots. The same thing with Tucker Carlson. Anybody could get 15 million idiots to hate on Israel. Not true, Andrew Klavan. Not true.
The Bible accurately or interpreting it accurately.
He's a Protestant. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's worse than a Protestant. I mean, I know some pretty decent Protestants.
He's worse. He's an Episcopalian.
No, I'm just saying. I don't see why we. Yeah, that's true. He's not even a Christian.
I say that as a former Episcopalian.
Yeah. Me too. Guilty.
I would just point out when we're talking, because I agree with you, Drew. I'm all for censorship when it's just and prudent and within bounds and all. You're right. That's the whole point of my book, Speechless, which is available for purchase wherever you can find books. But my point is, where the two examples where people have really gone out of bounds in recent years, it would be probably Alex Jones, right? It would be when he started talking about Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
And then what was the other one? I don't know. Well, I guess actually one example, you could actually use an example.
Because he was right about the cross.
Tucker at Fox before Tucker left. But in both of those cases, how were the standards reinforced, regardless of whether you think it was good or bad? What happened to Alex Jones or Tucker?
I mean,
you know how it was enforced? Through lawfare. through censorship. Actually, a way better example than Fox. Father Coughlin, most popular radio host in America. What was it? 1 in 4 American households was listening to him. He did not go off the air because people complained about him and called more attention to his program. He went off the air because the hierarchy of the church and the White House shut him down. That was basically what did it. And so I guess my whole argument here is not that we shouldn't have standards. It's not that we shouldn't say what we believe. It's just that if one is going to undertake a political tactic, it should work. And in this case, I think this one's been totally counterproductive.
Well, so here's what I'll say just about the efficacy point, and then I want to bring this away from struggle sessioning Michael and back toward actually what I think is the more realistic issue. So as far as the utilitarian nature of the tactic, it depends who you're talking to. If the goal is to inform people who say we're Fox News Tucker fans of what Tucker has been saying lately, I think that is a virtuous thing to do. Because I think there are a lot of people who are totally unaware of the stuff that Tucker is saying now, or has been saying, who have sort of vestigial goodwill for the Tucker Carlson they remember from 2018. I think it's a very real phenomenon, which is why he has broader purchase. I think telling young people who are falling into the trap of listening to Candace or to Tucker's lies that what they're listening to is actively untrue is a useful thing to do. And if their numbers continue to go up, they continue to go up, but you've done your duty in at least giving people the informational choices available, and then they can make their own decision because, of course, it is a free country and no one is actually calling for people to be banned from the air. Where this makes a difference and where the rubber meets the road. And this goes back to your point, Michael, about sort of the political. And this is where, I know Drew went right into the Tucker when we started talking about JD, which is, remember, where I'm trying to reverse engineer where we were in this conversation. Yeah. And this is, again, is why we have the show, is so we can actually beat the living hell out of each other, obviously. But the JD and the Rubio of it goes to coalition building, which I think lies under a lot of this. What is the coalition that each of these candidates is trying to build? I think the reason there's been a lot of heat and light around JD and Tucker is because the question is JD's coalition, is it inclusive not only of Tucker as, a voter, like coalitions include lots of voters, is it inclusive of Tucker's ideas? Is it inclusive of Tucker as a leader of that coalition? Because if so, that's a very different coalition than the coalition of Donald Trump, who may talk to Tucker and then will go out publicly and say, he can say whatever he wants, I don't listen to a word he says. Which is something that J.D. Vance has never said about Tucker Carlson. And I think is leading to a lot of people suspecting maybe he agrees with some of the things that Tucker is doing and saying. And probably one of the reasons why Donald Trump himself, you kind of led this off by saying Trump has appointed J.D. his heir and then Marco his running mate. And Marco has committed to the idea that he's not going to run against J.D. But I don't think that that's quite accurate in the depiction of what Trump has said about J.D. or Rubio. He said, I like both these guys.
Yeah.
He says, I like both these guys. And then he's apparently been polling rooms of donors as to which one people like better. And a lot of the donors seem to like Rubio better. And I think there are some reasons for that, including kind of JD's affect. I think also including the sort of political coalition building. And here I want to kind of shift the conversation into a prudential one, which is which one of these candidates, if you had to choose, right? Assume both of them were running. They're not, but assume both of them were running for a second. Which one is likely to build a successful coalition? I want to get to that in just 1 second. First, guys, we have to talk about sleeping because honestly, after this, we're all going to need to, lie down. This has been extraordinarily stressful. I think for the audience, for us, for Michael, is the one time I've ever felt bad for Michael, frankly. Ben Domenech and Ben, they're not all like this. I have to say this episode, the minute that Walsh steps out, suddenly, the actual battles begin. Yeah. Who would have figured that one? But Ben, thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it.
Good to see you, Ben. Welcome aboard.
That's because Walsh, everyone thinks because Walsh seems kind of disagreeable that he's the one that's going to love to scrap. He actually we're the ones that love to fight.
We love to scrap.
This company, we kind of forget it. A lot of people don't even know this. When this company began, 2015, 2016, the first 2 hours of the day, you guys would do your show. We would just beat 100%. The hell out of each other for like an hour or something.
True. Yeah.
I miss those
exactly.
days.
Well, yeah,
you remember Ben? You and I would fight so much that the women would call us up and say, "Are you okay?" That always made me laugh.
Yeah.
We'd have totally forgotten it. And there's, are you guys all right?
Yeah, exactly. Everyone was like, "Is everything okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're just beating the hell out of each other." That's what we do.
I actually, my kind of button. This is my esoteric.
All right, that's enough. We have hit the 2-hour mark, so that's it. I'm pretty much going to cut the stream. Did I have anything else I was going to talk about? No, I think that's it. I think I was just going to react to those 2 videos. So, okay. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here. We will do this again. We will. I don't know when, but we will do it again. So, thank you guys for being here. Thanks for participating in the 2-hour stream. And, everybody have a good Friday night. Hopefully I find that video. And then if I do, we could cover it in the next stream. So, all right, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for everything. I will see you guys in the next live stream.